All right, I am sitting with. How do you pronounce your last name? Because I don't want to
Knecht,
ruin it. Connect,
like Connect Four.
like Connect Four. I would have totally murdered it.
What would you try to do?
I would have been like Connect, Connect, Connect. So I am sitting with Tim Knecht today, and we are talking about his new single. It's called "I'm Yours," right? I'm yours.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's part of a new album I got out.
Awesome sauce. It is a very musical piece. I listened to it earlier. I felt it pulling my heartstrings. It brought me closer to the love that you put into that song. But
Cool.
enough for introductions. Can you tell me where you're from?
I am from Susanville, California. I was born in Sacramento and moved up to northeastern California when I was in like sixth grade,
Nice.
and lived there until I was about 25. Bouncing between my dad's house, he was down in the Sacramento Valley area, and then yeah, I just kind of grew up there, listening to a lot of blues music that my buddy Ryan Freitas showed me, and um, yeah, kind of was exposed to a lot of stuff there, punk rock and Hank Three and the old Hank Senior, and that's when I really started writing when I was in like, say, what was it, 18? But I started playing guitar at like 15,
Right, right.
but I spent most of my time around there until I was 25. Then I bought a van and started traveling the nation, and ended up in Western Wyoming for a few years, started a band there,
Nice.
then went solo for a little while, and then met my wife there, and we
In
got
Miami
married.
or in the
Yeah,
van?
she's from in well, I was in a van too, so she married a hobo. So um
Very
met her,
gracious of her.
very gracious of her, you know. But and then we moved down here because I had some family in Gurley,
Hmm.
and we've been here since the beginning of January and started doing music again full time. I want to say in like Aprilish,
Nice.
something like that. But yeah, it's been good. Everyone here has been super welcoming and kind, and the musicians and venues, and yeah,
And that's by the time that I met you, I believe.
yeah. We met over at that
The
music
musician
meetup thing
makeup
over in
meetup
Cold Spring.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've been through there a couple of times. It's it's definitely an interesting experience when people are introduced to you by their profession and they're not engineers and stuff like that. You know,
yeah.
it's like, well, what do you do? It's like, well, I'm a four-piece quartet.
Hmm.
I uh, I sing opera, which I have a friend that sings opera, but she's in New York City because apparently you can't sing opera in Huntsville. But I digress. She's really good, and I found a lot of musicians from here that have gone elsewhere and then have returned. But it's really odd people that come here and then start a music career.
Hmm.
But I mean, I think it's a thing that we need to actually get started. We need to foster and encourage people to do so, especially with the way the city's positioning itself as a music city. I think that most artists around here will have a much easier time providing for themselves and their families with music, with the
Oh
way
yeah,
things are going.
it absolutely can be done.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I don't think it's gonna slow down ever. It's kind of feels like it's, and I'm new here. I can just tell you just from the growth that we've seen that's going up around with the constant like apartments, and
Mm-hmm.
just this is going to be a big spot, and we're just happy to be here for it. And I mean, there's a lot of talented individuals here, and it seems like there's a spot to play for everyone that wants to. You know what I mean? And so,
I'm still waiting to find the ska people.
but it's a good spot. Like
Oh yeah.
that's what's been cool. And that's the other cool thing is like we've been branching out like to all there's all these little small towns everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
just doing like little bar and restaurant things. So it's like, okay, you may not be playing in Huntsville. Sorry, I know I say it wrong all the time. But Uh, if you travel out, I mean, there's more than enough work, and sometimes you got to put the miles on. It's not always going to be just in your backyard kind of thing.
What's crazy is there's so many venues that are hurting for performers right now. Like,
Yeah, it's funny because just to go off what you're saying, some spots we'll call them. They'll be like, "Oh, we're already booked for the year or whatever," and then some spots will be like, "Well, what are you doing this weekend?" And you're like,
right?
"Well, so
Hey, can you come on tonight?
yeah,
Mm-hmm. And it's funny when we were uh, talking about this event thing. I've been reaching out to a lot of venues trying to make sure that I have places to perform for the people that want to perform. And a lot of people are like, "Oh yeah, yeah, I have like 7 venues. You can fill them all. I don't care. We're trying to get people in to perform. We don't want to just have house music every night. We want to
yeah,
be able to have live performances." And that really caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting people to be so eager for promotion.
yeah,
So, I mean, it's going to get crazy here probably in the next year or two. And when people really start realizing that there is a thriving live performance like venues everywhere in town, like not just on the north side or the east side or out of Madison, but like you can't throw a rock in the city without finding a place that you could perform that aren't
yeah,
actively looking for people to perform. And
and
not just
also Bridge Street too.
yeah.
People like we do that thing every now and then. Was going down to Bridge Street during the week when they had those stages. I mean, they don't pay you to
Yeah,
play
the
there,
little
but
platforms.
we've made pretty good money
Oh,
just
I bet.
busking and stuff. And then downtown too, just playing kind of in that square around like Voodoo and the
The
like
entertainment
apartment
district, quote
area.
unquote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just as people are, getting ice cream or going down to Big Spring or but no, there's a lot of it's funny. It's just I guess it just comes with the city. Because I was over in Western Wyoming, like there were like four places to play within like 80 miles kind of thing.
Nice.
Or 50-mile, whatever. But yeah, there's a lot going on. There's something going on every night, which is the cool thing. So it's like if you want to go see someone, you can, or if you want to get out. And Voodoo's a really good spot for it. I think
Hmm.
they pride themselves on that promotion too of having music every night and having something going on.
Oh yeah. Did you hear about this huge festival they got trying to set up for 2024
No,
over
what is it?
and it's in John Hunt Park. It's supposed to be the
I
same
think I
people that did
may have.
Bonnaroo and Lollapalooza and all those.
Uh huh.
I'm excited to see what happens. I really am because it feels like it is a huge investment, and there are going to be a lot of people from out of town that are coming, and a lot of local people are going to be like, I have no idea what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Like like you probably weren't around, but there used to be a huge concert series downtown where they did Panoply, and
Mm-hmm.
like you could just be outside on anywhere on the east side of town and just listen to music and like big names like throughout the 90s and 2000s. You're talking I can't remember what it's called, but it was something very similar to parties in the park. No, it was a big spring jam. That's what it was, I
Uh huh.
believe. And like they had like R&B artists on one stage, and rap artists, and country folks, and no matter where you went, there was somebody that you could listen to, and I mean national artists for 3 days,
Yeah.
and it stopped because people weren't going to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I was a kid, I couldn't afford it. You know what I'm saying? It was $100 tickets. I couldn't just, you know, well, I could just jump a fence and then get run out by security, which is what we did when we were kids.
Yeah.
But I feel like nowadays it's gonna be not quite the same situation. I believe that they're gonna be better about promoting it
Mm-hmm.
because the city themselves have been investing in it, not just private companies. And I really hope that that's going to be a situation with this coming up festival. And they're building a new thing over in Diddle Landing. They're building a new restaurant slash venue type thing on the water, which would be super dope,
That'd be so tight.
right?
What's it called?
I have no
Is it that
idea.
blind pegger thing or whatever?
I think they just announced it like today or yesterday. They were talking about it.
Uh,
I believe it just got approved. It's something like $10 million investment on infrastructure.
oh, that's it. Shoot, pocket change.
That's it. It's pocket change. Pocket change. Make that on Tuesdays.
Exactly.
But so what got you into music?
I was grounded a lot. So my parents took away the Xbox, and so my sister had this like dinky little Walmart guitar, and I'm like, "Can I borrow that?" And they didn't care, so I just was playing on that, and then I just kind of learned that through trial and error, I could get things down, and then I just kind of kept learning little licks here and there. Like the first song I ever remember, or not, I guess like a lick was Sugar Ray, that every morning song. You know,
Yeah.
every morning there's a like that. So I was like, okay, that's cool.
From the corner of my girlfriend's four-post bed.
Yeah, that's a banger. I love that tune.
Yeah.
But
that was definitely one of the slutty songs. No one really listened to the lyrics.
90s anthem. I know.
Just like
I gotta look these up now. I'm like, dang, these are like.
yeah. When I became an adult and I heard that song, I was like, what? We were just singing this. We were like little kids just singing this song, and it's like, let's think about this as rational people. Would we let our kids sing that? Probably not. But we did it.
I got this memory when my sister, she was singing Nickelback, like, and we all just want to be big rock stars, and she said that part about like getting drugs for free, and my mom was like, "She ever say that?" But yeah,
pay for your drugs like a reasonable human being.
Exactly. But wait, what was the question? Oh yeah, I just got into music, just kind of through there, truthfully. Then I ended up meeting a buddy. His name was Ryan Freitas, and then um he wrote songs and he like recorded on a tape recorder. I thought that was really cool. Like he had
Like a cassette tape recorder or like a four
yeah,
track?
like a cassette, like, and he just had this one mic, a little smaller than this, but then it was just cool that he'd just sit there and we'd write things, and then I was telling my wife too, like we did a lot of like Hank 3 covers, like PFF, and just we had these little bands called like Mother's Gin and Slow Hands McGee, and we just kind of did like this country folk punk stuff, and um, I actually really got into like jazz guitar for a while. Like I got really into like Django Reinhardt. And
So just playing all the wrong notes.
it's so funny, like and I do this in a lot of things. Like you try and pick the hardest thing right off the bat, just to be like, and it's like, nah, dude, just learn the basics and whatever. But and yeah,
D minor 7 sus 6. It's like what?
yeah, exactly. But I don't know. I was always kind of exposed to a lot of different music. Like my mom really into like Michael Jackson, Earth, Wind and Fire, and Journey, and my stepdad really showed me like um the boys, NWA, and like Alice in Chains and Stone Temple Pilots, and my dad was real into the old country like Johnny Cash, and um, it just kind of all blended together. And then I mean, in high school, I was listening to like Owl City and Never Shout Never, and just all these like death metal bands I got really into, and like Skeleton Witch and Cannibal Corpse. And
Nice.
so it's kind of weird the direction that I've like ended up in. But if I was honest, I always really resonate with like country folk and blues for myself, just because it seems to resonate with me better. I mean, I can't say anything's better or worse. You know what I mean? I know what I like and but like when I'm happiest or downest or whatever you want to call it, like blues music, like Lightning Hopkins and Hank Sr. and just like Towns, Van Zandt, and those guys, like that just seems to really cut through to me and put me where I need to be. So I kind of try to write music like that if I can. Like that's the goal.
I couldn't do it. I tried my best. So like when I was a kid, the only time country music was ever played at my house is if my mama was by herself and she had been
Yeah.
drinking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she grew up in the sticks. So it was a big thing for her to actually stop and put on some bluegrass. And as a kid, I didn't get it at all. As an adult, I understand the existential dread of waking up and not knowing if your truck's going to start, or if you can pay your rent, or if your wife's going to leave you, if your dog's going to leave you, or if your wife's going to take the dog and leave you.
Yeah.
I get that. And it was never a thought to me as a kid that those things could exist. And I started to wonder if it was a position of what is the word? Security in my position as a kid. Like, I never worried about if my rent was going to get paid because I had no idea if we were having money problems. But, like, my wife, on the other hand, she came up in a very, very threadbare, not sure what you're eating every day type situation. I mean, she says she always got fed. I believe her, but I believe that she resonated with those country things a lot better than I did because I never had what's the word a point of view in that direction as a kid. As an adult, I've been broke as shit and I understand it.
Yeah.
But as a kid, I never really had to deal with those ideas. So that music wasn't really ingrained in my soul. So now as an
Yeah.
adult, I'm just like, I get the vibe, but it's and maybe one day I will make the complete turn and only listen to country. Who knows? I do live in Alabama. It might happen.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Everyone, it's like just because you like Midship and I like Rocky Road, you know what I mean?
Right. Right,
It's
right.
that's why my wife really got me to that too. Is like you can't knock people on what I mean, unless it's just like trash, honestly.
Right.
But
Right.
you can't really know if it makes someone happy at the end of the day or smile.
Right.
Like that's why I've been trying to learn that with my cover songs too, because like I do a lot of cover gigs, like a lot of other people's songs and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So and sometimes I get requests for stuff, and I'm like, I'm not playing that, dude. Like one for the longest time was Wagon Wheel. Like I'm not gonna learn it. And finally, I'm like, you know what? People like it, whatever. Like I'm here to make people happy, so
It's okay to not hate other kinds of music. It's not okay to like the people that chose Sasuke over Naruto. So, what do you do for fun?
I fish a lot, and
Do you fish or do you catch?
it depends on the day. I'll tell you. So lately, I've been doing a little bit of catching, and I just kind of go for whatever. I like fishing. It's fun to figure out how to make a trick a fish into biting something stupid. Like I used to get all these lures that, like right now, it's like these plastic rubber worms, like tiny little ones, like life size, kind of like pink or red. And I'm like, there's no way a fish is stupid enough to bite this.
They're that
And I'm
stupid.
just slaying it. Yeah, like it's fun. And yeah, I like fishing. I like walking around the woods. I play a lot of video games. I've been playing a lot of Halo Infinite lately. And yeah, if you're good, hit me up. So and I'm really into like tactical kind of first person shooters. Like I play this SWAT game called Ready or Not. It's like you're clearing rooms and stuff, and it's a lot of fun.
I was
And then
horrible at first person shooters. I
huh?
mean, even back at like the Quake days, I've always been bad at FPSs.
Oh, see, I started out in like Counter Strike Source and Halo, and I mean those always stuck. Like I've been playing a lot of like Insurgency Sandstorm,
Mm-hmm.
so a lot of PC gaming. I used to do a lot of Xbox, but now I just kind of do that, and I don't know why. It's just fun. It's fun to blow things up, and
I mean, I get
and or fighting games. I really love like UFC fighting games, but that isn't not cross compatible for my system.
it.
But I read. I've been reading more like autobiographies of like right now I'm in Willie Nelson's and
That's a
um
long book.
yeah, and then been like reading like the Lewis and Clark journals here and there, and what else? Oh, I love like cryptid stories like Bigfoot and aliens and just like the Jersey Devil and stuff like that. Like I just like looking up stories about stuff like that. Disappearances. You ever hear of the missing 411?
The missing 411.
But yeah, like this whole thing about how all these people disappear in all these national forests and like national parks and all that. Look it up. It's insane. And it's this dude's whole like he categorizes all the cases, and there's like certain cases that fit certain categories. Like there's no drug or alcohol involved. There's no suicide. Like, but then there's these super weird disappearances where like someone's there and then they're not, or like they're a hunter their whole life and then they're found in like some weird spot, like with their shoes off, and or just some
Why they got to
weird.
lose the shoes, man? Why they got to lose the
It's
shoes?
great. I like stuff like that. And then what else I do for fun? Hang out with my wife. We've been watching movies. She hasn't seen The Mask yet, so we watched
But
that last night.
like Jim Carrey's The Mask.
Mhm.
Huh. So funny story. When me and my wife got together, she had never seen Days of Thunder or Top Gun,
I
and I
haven't seen
told
Days
her,
of Thunder.
"Huh?
I haven't seen Days of Thunder.
Wow. Well, I'm not marrying you, so it's irrelevant." But I told her straight up, I would not marry her unless she watched those two movies, and they're horrible movies. Don't get it wrong. They're the peak of 1980s excess. But those are movies that were pivotal to who I was as a person. And it was hilarious to watch her just suffer through these movies. Because she's already stated she has a very big disdain for Tom Cruise.
Really?
Oh, yeah. We went to see Days of Tomorrow, I think that's what it's
Yeah.
called. And like when he got run over by the truck and he made the sound, like we both like fell over laughing in the theaters. I was like, that's how I knew she was the one for me.
See, my mom, or no, my grandma, she like got a shirt for seeing Top Gun like 20 times in the theater when it came out.
All right. So tell me about the most recent concert you attended. Not performed, but actually went to.
Shoot. That I've attended?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was to see, it was a local, I was at the Highway, I'm going to butcher this, 31 Music Festival in Idaho. And I went to go see Jesse Dane and the Sagebrush Drifters. They played. They were awesome. I saw Cliff Miller play. He's another buddy out there. And then I saw like Mike and the Moon Pies for a little bit. And then yeah, that was cool. It was cool to see my friends though. They're good.
Nice, nice. What kind of music do they perform?
Country.
Okay.
Yeah, out there it's pretty
It's pretty country
country
or
out here.
everything.
Country rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's the funny thing about coming out here is like people don't dance a lot. Like over there, people dance a lot.
I
Like
believe
that's
that.
how our band that we were in, like we were just like a Western dancing. Like we'd go to Du Bois and Pinedale and all these spots, and people would just drink beer and dance to old country music, bro. It was fun.
Bro, I lived in Fort Worth, Texas for like 6 months. And there was
Hmm.
like 19 country stations and like one
Oh
local
yeah,
rock station. And when I came back to town, there was a bar here where the hotel is, the new hotel they built right there off of Governor's. There was a bar there called
yeah.
Rodeos. And like you'd go in there and like the first half of the night, it would just be square dancing. And you're like, this doesn't make any sense. But all the beautiful women are here, so I'm going to square dance too. And then right at about 11 o'clock, everybody would be drunk enough to not care about dancing. And they'd put on like hip hop music. And then you were there until they run you off.
Yeah.
But it tripped me out that that bar was probably one of the biggest draws as far as like young people and I mean square dancing, but it was
Dog,
huge.
people love dancing. Yeah, chicks dig dancing.
Never made sense to me. I was always bad at it, always
Yeah, I'm
bad.
pretty bad at it too. But it's, hey, it doesn't mean I don't do it
I
though.
think
You
that's
know.
why square
But I
dancing
had
is
to
such a
text
big
this guy. I'll
deal.
be real with you.
Right.
I had a text, but he's like, "Dudes don't square dance." And I, you know what? Some people disagree with me, but I don't go out there and square dance. Like,
I mean, why not? It's how you
I
get to
don't
the
know.
ladies.
I just kind of it's two stepping. You throw on Boogie Wonderland by Earth, Wind and Fire, I'll be out there. But which seems ironic,
It
you know.
does. It really does.
But I'm
It's
not
like
not
slide to the
line dancing.
left. Oh my goodness. All right. If you could perform anywhere, where would it be?
Like the Grand Ole Opry.
The Grand Ole Opry.
That's right. I hit him with some country music.
You want Dolly Parton to introduce you and everything?
I would, if it's not too much to ask, you know.
I mean, she might do it. You never know. She does a lot for the disenfranchised youth.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
All right, so I'm gonna play your song real quick. We're gonna
Cool.
see if it'll play. If not, we're gonna wait for it to play, and I'm gonna listen to it myself.
Got it.
Maybe. I really like this intro you did, and you probably can't hear nothing.
I've been searching high and low, and
So
you're
I can hear
the
it for a second.
sweetest thing I've found.
Now I can.
Sweet.
We've known each other a real long time, and it's been so nice having you around. But I'm here, then I'm gone, with the rising of the sun. I'm born to ramble on until my work is done. But right now I'm here in your arms, and I'm yours.
Very nice.
I know you love me, I can see it in your eyes. But I'm a slave to destiny, and to the highway I am bound and tied. Don't let it make you sad, you're the best I ever had. And I'm carrying your memory in my heart and in my head. But right now I'm here in your arms, and I'm yours.
So, what inspired you to write your song?
Just life, probably, I guess. Experiences and just being a songwriter.
It seems very much like a song that you wrote to prove to your girlfriend that you could write her a song that says how much you love her.
Sometimes I just get ideas. Sometimes it's about real life situations, you
Right?
know. And but I really like that one. I feel like that's an honest song and heartfelt. So
Yeah, I dig it. And what makes how do you feel when you listen to it?
uh proud and I guess honestly, truth be told, there's songs that I love of mine that I think are just wonderful.
Hmm.
And I'm very this is gonna sound stupid. I'm thankful that I got to write them, kind of
Right.
thing.
I get that.
And I mean, there's some songs I'm like, eh, you know, but I have to write just because it's my job. And but that one I like a lot.
Yeah, I dig it. I definitely feel the emotions that come through when you sing it, and
Thank you.
it's a very innocent song to me. It sounds like it's a very heartfelt, genuine, pure type song.
Yeah, it's funny the ones that it feels like the ones I'm supposed to write come a little more smooth
Hmm.
because it's not like I'm putting on airs or trying to be anything. It's like it spills out of you more because it's
Hmm.
what's
Hmm.
inside of you versus like what you're like, oh, what would that person feel in that situation? Like, I heard this, it's like this Tom T. Hall quote. He's like, I stopped creating and started relating,
Right.
kind of thing. And then I know Hank Sr. said a lot that really stuck out to me was if you're gonna say something, say it so like people can understand, essentially. Like, and I guess that's I try not to like be too fancy with any of my stuff. I'm kind of at that point where it's like I want it to be very basic
Right.
but good. Like I don't know how to describe it, but
No, no, I get it.
um, it's not super. It's like if you ask me to play a song, you know what you know what that song you just played is about,
Right.
and the feeling is trying to broadcast or whatever. So I'm just kind of trying to do that, capture little things of life, and kind of paint stuff, see if people like it. But yeah, being married, it gives you a lot of ammo too, you know,
I
good
hear
and
you.
bad. You know what I
Hear
mean?
you.
Because one day you're like, oh, and the other day you're like, oh, like what? So, um, that's fun.
Awesome.
That's something I was thinking about too. I know this is a little branch, but suffering produces something in people, and I think that's good. Like I think I get past the point of. Don't get me wrong, I'm blessed and I'm thankful for everything I have and all that good stuff. But kind of get to the point where it's not necessarily you're looking for something super easy in life. Like you're looking for something purposeful
Right.
and something that gives you a reason and a desire to get out of bed every day. And I think by the grace of God, I found that through, I mean, just being a Christian, loving my wife, but like also through my work, which is ministering to people with music. And that's honestly what I really look at myself as at the end of the day is someone that has the ability to entertain people and try and bring people up through the songs I learn and the songs they like, and hopefully through some of the songs I write, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
All right. Well, that's a good segue. Do you have any current projects that you want to tell people about?
I'm always writing. I'm working on a new album. I'm
Nice.
posting videos. Just finished a new song tonight. What's that one called? Oh, I'm used to the abuse, so something like that. And then
Sounds provocative.
yeah, it's not. No, it's a sad song. My wife gets mad. She's like, "Why are you writing all these sad songs? Everyone thinks they're about me." So there's a truth in that. They're not all about her. So sometimes you just make stuff up. But
Sometimes it's my ex-girlfriend. It's my
yeah,
ex.
sometimes you see some people and you're like, "Ooh, I can feel that situation." Kind of paint it, but um, yeah, I'm always working on stuff, working on poetry. Right now, our current project is we bought some property, so we're working on building a tiny house. So
Congratulations.
thank you. Yeah, we're just out there and digging and
So is it a
cutting
tiny
wood.
house with a big studio, or is it just a tiny house?
Dog, my studio is like you're looking at it right now. This is big. Usually it's a closet, like so, or a van, or
I mean, if you got
uh,
land, you might as well just 3,000 square foot it. Just make it
we're looking at like not that much. We're looking at like 12 by 18 or something.
for the whole thing.
Yeah,
That's
we're gonna
tiny.
build on it. Yeah, they don't call them tiny homes for nothing.
I mean, I get it, but I mean, you bought proper. I mean, how much land did you get?
We got like an acre and a half.
You should be building a huge house there. Just all the house.
I know it's where the funds are at right now, so we're building with what we
I
can.
feel you. I feel
But
you. So, just perfect segue to that. If you need some people that can get you some prefabs, I got some folks around town that can get you squared away. If you
for
do,
sure.
if you do want to just get something up, like you get a concrete pad poured, you can probably put like a 24 by 40 up for like $12,000.
Oh heck yeah, yeah. We got the hole dug. Like, truthfully, I'm scared of tornadoes, so we're doing
Eh,
like concrete rebar. Like,
I've been here since 1985, and there have been exactly 4 tornadoes. At which point I had any sort of fear towards them, and they all wrecked parts of the city that I wasn't part of. So, like, I was legit caught in one in like '91 that came through by Lee High School. We were out
yeah.
trying to. My brother was in a field trip, and he was at Lee High School, and we went over to get him because they'd shut down the city. And like, it came through and it wrecked the whole east side. and then you've heard about the one that came down Airport Road and took all that out.
Yeah.
And then there were a couple of them that hit out in like Harvest. Anderson Hills got hit like twice in 2 years. But I mean, yeah, there's a lot of them around. There's a reason to be uh, paying attention to them. But yeah, property insurance is a thing. Bunkers are really you can get underground. You can get built-ins. Um, you can do like a panic room where you just have like an 8 by 12 room with a concrete case in it and just put it in your closet.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the easiest way to do it. If you can get those big cinder blocks and just fill them with concrete and build a little shelter. That's
Yeah.
what a lot
Right
of
now we're
people
just
do.
building that little concrete footing.
Hmm.
Gonna throw some rebar up through it and then stack blocks.
Well, you got to
And
put rebar in it anyways to make it
yeah.
up to code. You know.
Hmm. Where I live, there is no code, so
Hey,
there's
there's a building code. You should be adhering to make sure that your structure is
hey, we're
safe,
going
sir.
above code, but
Just make sure your structure is safe, sir.
yeah,
But yeah, most people when they're out and they're in a danger prone area, they'll do like a an underground. You can get it like a fiberglass one and just have it buried, or you can have a cellar or an underground bunker, or you can do a panic room style thing. Don't it? I worked in home security for a while, so these are a lot of things that we went through, especially with our area. So,
yeah,
but those things can be done relatively easily without a huge additional cost, especially if you're
mhm,
building a structure to begin with. But just note that there's no cellular signal or anything like that if you have a full concrete structure.
yeah,
So, if something were to happen and you were to be trapped, you would need some sort of outside attenuation or something.
hmm
Just a heads up. Just make sure that you have something in place.
a carrier pigeon or something, right?
Right, something.
Yeah.
A separate exit.
Hmm.
But anyways, any last shout outs? Anyone you want to thank?
Big shout out to my mom and dad, and my other mom and dad, and my hot wife, and all my friends and family. Thank you for all your support. For people like you, Ben, for doing cool stuff for artists like me, and yeah, thank you for having me on.
It's no problem. It's great to chat again. And I will see you later.
Sounds good, man. Catch you later.